close your eyes, if you'd like, and let your mind drift to a distant time, a world of endless grasslands stretching beneath a vast, unyielding sky. Welcome to Boring History for Sleep, where tonight we journey to the windswept steppes of the ancient, a nomadic people who roamed Eurasia's plains from around 900 to 200 BCE. Picture yourself on horseback, the rhythm of hooves beneath you, the cold wind tugging at your cloak. This is a story of survival, of ceaseless movement, of lives shaped by the pulse of the steppe. Our tale unfolds in 15 parts, each a window into the Scythian world, its toils, its triumphs, its mysteries. Let the details wash over you, steady and unhurried, as we begin with the daily life of a Scythian horseman, a life both free and unforgiving. Settle in, breathe deeply, and let the ancient steppe carry you toward rest. Imagine yourself waking in the dim light of dawn, the air sharp with frost, your breath visible in the chill. You are a Scythian horseman, one of countless nomads who call the vast Eurasian steppe home. Somewhere in what we now know as southern Russia or Ukraine, around 700 BCE, your world is one of constant motion, a life tethered to the rhythm of your herd and the endless horizon. The steppe stretches around you, a sea of grass rippling under a restless wind, dotted with wildflowers in summer. But now, in the turning of autumn, it's a brittle, golden expanse that crunches beneath your boots. Your home is a yurt, a circular tent of felt and wood, its frame creaking softly as the wind presses against it. Inside, the air is thick with the scent of wool and smoke from a small fire, its embers glowing faintly in the center. You rise from a bed of furs, stiff from yesterday's long ride, and pull on a tunic of coarse wool and leather trousers, patched from years of use. Your fingers, calloused from gripping reins and bowstrings, fumble to tie a belt heavy with a bronze dagger. The cold seeps through the felt walls, and you shiver, wrapping a thick cloak around your shoulders, its edges frayed from years on the trail. Outside, the camp stirs, the low bleating of sheep and the snorting of horses mingle with the murmurs of your kin, already tending to the day's tasks. Your role is clear: to ride, to guard, to survive. You saddle your horse, a sturdy, shaggy creature bred for endurance, its mane tangled with burrs. The saddle is simple, padded with felt, and you check the bow slung across your back, its wood smooth from use, its string taut. The steppe is not kind. Wolves lurk in the tall grass, and rival tribes may strike without warning. Your eyes scan the horizon, always alert, even as the familiar weight of your bow brings a quiet confidence. The day stretches long. You ride for hours, guiding the herd to fresh grazing grounds, the wind carrying the earthy scent of trampled grass and the faint temps of horse sweat. Your meals are simple, eaten on the move: a strip of dried mutton, chewy and salty, washed down with fermented mare's milk, its sour bite warming your chest. Water is scarce, drawn from streams or carried in leather pouches, and you ration it carefully. The sun climbs high, then sinks, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet. But there's no rest yet. You must check the herd, repair a torn bridle, or scout for signs of danger. The rhythm of your life is unrelenting, tied to the needs of animals and the whims of nature. Winter looms, and with it, the threat of blizzards that can bury the steppe in snow, freezing your fingers and numbing your toes. Summer brings its own, trial-dust storms that sting your eyes and choke your lungs. Hunger is a constant shadow. A failed grazing season or a stolen herd could mean starvation. Yet, there's a strange freedom in this life. The steppe knows no walls, no masters but the sky and the seasons. You ride with your kin, sharing stories around the fire, the crackle of burning wood a steady comfort. The stars above are your map, their patterns guiding you across the endless plains. But freedom comes at a cost. The steppe demands endurance, vigilance, and sacrifice. A fall from your horse could break a bone, and with no healers nearby, pain becomes a companion. Raids from rival tribes mean lives are lost, not in grand battles but in swift, brutal skirmishes, leaving families to mourn in silence. The weight of survival presses on you, day after day, as you ride beneath that vast, unyielding sky. This is the life of a Scythian horseman, raw, unceasing, and woven into the heartbeat of the steppe. As we leave the windswept plains and the life of the horseman behind, let's turn to a figure who rose above the daily grind, a leader whose cunning shaped the Scythian legacy. Next, we'll explore the story of identity. Let your mind drift now, away from the daily toil of the Scythian horseman, to a time when one leader's cunning defined the fate of his people. Picture the steppe in 513 BCE, the air heavy with the scent of crushed grass and distant smoke. You are in the world of Idanthossus, the Scythian king whose name echoes through history, not for grand monuments or written laws, but for his elusive defiance against the mightiest empire of the age. Under Darius I, as the firelight flickers in your yacht, imagine the weight of leadership on this king, a man of the steppe, whose life was a dance of strategy and survival. His story, woven into the rhythm of hoofbeats and whispered counsels, unfolds slowly, inviting you to settle deeper into the calm of this ancient tale. Idanthossus was no king in a gilded palace. His throne was the saddle, his court a circle of warriors gathered under a vast star-strewn sky. The Scythians had no cities, no fixed borders, only the endless plains and the loyalty of their tribes. Around you, the camp buzzes with quiet urgency, horses whinny, leather armor creaks, and the wind carries the faint tang of boiled mare's milk, a staple of Scythian feasts. Idanthossus, likely in his prime, was a figure of weathered strength, his face lined from years of sun and frost, his eyes sharp with the instincts of a nomad. His cloak, adorned with bronze plaques, jingles softly as he moves, and his bow, ever at hand, speaks of a life where peace was fleeting. The story begins with a shadow on the horizon. Darius I, the Persian king, whose empire stretched from Egypt to India, had set his sights on the city. His army, vast as a desert storm, crossed the Bosporus on a bridge of boats, their sandals stirring dust that choked the air. The Persians sought to subdue the steppe, to claim its wealth in horses and gold, and to punish the nomads who raided their borders. Imagine the tension in the Scythian camp as scouts galloped in, their voices low but urgent, reporting the advance of thousands spearmen, archers, and chariots, their armor glinting under the sun. For Idanthossus, this was no mere raid to repel. It was a test of his people's way of life, their freedom to roam unbound. But Idanthossus was no ordinary warlord. His strategy was not to meet Darius in open battle, where Persian numbers would crush the smaller Scythian force. Instead, he chose the steppe itself as his weapon. Picture yourself riding alongside him, your horse's hooves drumming a steady rhythm on the earth. The Scythians retreated, burning grass to deny the Persians fodder, poisoning wells with sour herbs, and vanishing into the plains. The wind carries the crackle of distant fires, set to starve Darius' army, and the faint cries of Persian scouts lost in the maze of ravines. Idanthossus, ever watchful, sent riders to harass the enemy's flanks, their arrows whistling like birds of prey, striking and fading before the Persians could respond. Days turned to weeks, then months. The steppe, vast and unyielding, wore down the invaders. Imagine the Persians' camp, their tents sagging under unexpected frosts, their soldiers weary, their supplies dwindling. The scent of unwashed bodies and rotting provisions hung heavy, while dysentery and exhaustion claimed more lives than Scythian arrows. Idanthossus, in council with his warriors, spoke in measured tones, his voice blending with the rustle of felt walls. He sent taunting messages to Darius, offering gifts of a bird, a mouse, a frog, and 5 arrow symbols, perhaps of the steppe's untamable spirit, though their meaning puzzled the Persians. Some say it was a riddle: flee, or we will overwhelm you like these creatures. Others saw it as a mockery of Darius' ambition. The campaign dragged on, a slow dance of pursuit and evasion. Picture the Scythians' moving camp under moonlight, yurts dismantled in silence, herds driven to hidden valleys. The creak of cartwheels and the soft bleating of sheep filled the night, a rhythm as steady as a lullaby. Idanthossus' genius lay in patience, in knowing the steppe's secrets, its hidden springs. Its treacherous bogs while the Persians stumbled, their heavy armor a burden in the open plains. Darius, frustrated, built earthworks to trap his elusive foe, but the Scythians slipped away, their laughter carried on the wind. The Persian king, his pride bruised, finally turned back, his army diminished, his dream of conquest broken. Idanthossus' victory was not one of blood-soaked fields, but of a triumph of the steppes, vastness over imperial might. Yet his story fades here, as Scythian tales often do. No grand tomb marks his grave. Number scribes recorded his later years. He was a king of the moment. His legacy carried an oral tales, told around flickering campfires, The steppe remembers him in the hoofprints of his horses, in the freedom his people preserved. As you imagine his silhouette against the horizon, bow in hand, the wind whispering through the grass, let the quiet strength of his story settle over you, a reminder of a life unbound, yet ever tested. As we leave Identhasis and his cunning raids behind, let's turn to a mystery that lingers in the frozen earth of the steppe. Next, we'll explore the enigma of the Pazyryk burials, where the Scythians left clues to their beliefs and lives, preserved in ice. Now, let your mind drift from the fleeting triumphs of Identhasis to a quieter, more enigmatic corner of the Scythian world. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a windswept valley in the Altai Mountains, where the air is crisp with the scent of pine and frost, and the earth holds secrets frozen in time. It's around 400 BCE, and you're near the Pazyryk burials, a series of tombs hidden beneath grassy mounds, or kurgans, that have preserved the Scythians' lives in astonishing detail. These graves, uncovered millennia later, offer a glimpse into their beliefs, their artistry, and their miseries, a puzzle that invites you to linger, unhurried, as we unravel the story of the Pazyryk people, their frozen relics, and the questions that still whisper across the steppe. Imagine the steppe stretching around you, its rolling hills dotted with each a low, earthen dome, weathered by centuries of wind and rain. The Pazyryk Valley, nestled in what is now southern Siberia, is a place of stark beauty, where the sky feels close enough to touch, and the ground hums with the memory of rituals. The air carries the faint tang of damp soil and wild herbs, and as you stand beside a kurgan, you can almost hear the distant echo of chants, the soft thud of hooves from a long-ago funeral procession. These tombs were not for common herders, but for warriors, chieftains, or perhaps shamans, figures of reverence, whose deaths called for elaborate rites. Picture the moment a Scythian was laid to rest. The community gathers, their faces weathered, their cloaks heavy with embroidered patterns. A pit is dug, deep and wide, lined with logs of larch wood, their resinous scent mingling with the earth. The body, dressed in fine wool and leather, is placed within, adorned with gold plaques that glint in the torchlight. Around them, treasures are arranged. A felt rug with swirling deer motifs, a bronze mirror polished to reflect the stars, a quiver of arrows fletched with eagle feathers. Horses, their manes braided, are sacrificed and laid beside their master, their bodies a bridge to the afterlife. The tomb is sealed with earth, and the mourners depart, leaving the kurgan to the silence of the steppe. What makes Pazyryk extraordinary is the ice. In these high, cold valleys, water seeped into the tombs, freezing their contents like a snapshot of Scythian life. Imagine the archaeologists, millennia later, peeling back the earth to find not just bones but textiles, wood, and even skin, preserved as if time had paused. One tomb revealed a warrior, his body tattooed with intricate beast stags, griffins, and leopards curling across his arms and chest. The ink, made from soot and plant dyes, tells of a culture where art marked both flesh and felt. Another grave held a woman, perhaps a priestess, her hair still braided, her clothing embroidered with threads that once glowed red and blue. The scent of ancient wool, faintly musty, seems to linger as you imagine these finds. But the Pazyryk burials raise questions that drift like the steppe wind, unanswered yet inviting. Were these people royalty, or were they chosen for their spiritual power? The presence of hemp seeds and a small tent-like structure in one tomb suggests shamanic, where smoke induced visions to commune with spirits. Picture the scene: a shaman, cloaked in furs, inhaling the pungent fumes, their voice rising in a chant as the fire crackles. Were these burials meant to honor the dead or to appease the gods of the sky and earth? The horses, often buried in pairs, hint at a journey to an afterlife, but the Scythians left no texts to explain their beliefs, only objects that speak in silence. The tombs also reveal a world connected far beyond the steppe. A carpet, the oldest known, bears Persian-style patterns, suggesting trade or raids that stretched to distant empires. Chinese silk, soft as a whisper, was found in another grave, its threads a testament to the Silk Road's early threads. Imagine the caravans that crossed deserts, their camels laden with goods, linking the Scythians to worlds they never saw. Yet, some burials show signs of violent skulls cracked, arrows embedded hinting at lives cut short, not in grand wars but in sudden, quiet clashes. These traces of struggle, soft by time, remind us of the steppes' harsh demands, yet the beauty of the artifacts speaks of a people who found meaning in art and ritual. The Pazyryk burials remain a mystery, their stories were the tattoos marks of status, protection, or spiritual power. Did the horses gallop into the afterlife, carrying their riders to a celestial steppe? As you picture the Kurgans standing sentinel under a twilight sky, their secrets locked in ice, let the unanswered questions fade into a gentle hum, like the wind across the grass. The Scythian's world, preserved in these frozen graves, invites you to rest in its quiet enigma, a testament to lives both fleeting and eternal. As we leave the frozen tombs of Pazyryk behind, let's shift to a different life, one of power and prestige amid the steppes. Next, we'll explore the world of a Scythian chieftain, where wealth and danger walked hand in hand. Now, let your mind drift from the silent mysteries of the Pazyryk tombs to a world of power and prestige, where the steppes' harsh winds are tempered by wealth and authority. Picture yourself not as a weary horseman or a mourner at a kurgan, but as a Scythian chieftain, a leader of your tribe. Around 600 BCE, the vast plains of the Eurasian steppe stretch around you, their grasses swaying under a pale dawn sky, and the air carries the faint scent of wood smoke and leather. Your life is one of command, of feasts and councils, yet it is no less bound to the rhythms of the steppe, where danger and duty linger like shadows. Settle into this tale. Let its details unfold slowly, and imagine the weight of leadership in a world without walls. Your day begins in a grand yacht, larger than those of your kin, its felt walls adorned with embroidered hangings of red and blue, their swirling patterns of deer and birds catching the flicker of a central fire. The air inside is warm, heavy with the scent of burning pine and the musky aroma of furs piled high for your bed. You rise, your body draped in a tunic of fine wool, its hem stitched with gold threads that glint softly. Around your neck hangs a heavy torque, a twisted band of gold, its weight a constant reminder of your status. Your boots, crafted from soft leather, tread quietly on a floor of woven mats, and as you step outside, the cold steppe air bites gently at your face, mingling with the distant bleating of your tribe's herds. The camp looks to you, warriors, their faces weathered, nod in respect as they sharpen arrows or mend saddles, the soft scrape of stone on bronze filling the air. Women stir pots of millet porridge, its earthy steam rising in the morning, while children chase each other, their laughter a fleeting note against the wind's low hum. As chieftain, your role is to guide, to protect, to decide. You mount your horse, a sleek stallion with a braided mane, its saddle adorned with bronze plaques shaped like griffins. The rhythm of its hooves is steady, almost hypnotic. As you ride to inspect the herd, or meet with elders under a lone oak tree, its branches gnarled against the sky, your days are filled with councils. Imagine sitting cross-legged on a felt rug, the air thick with the scent of fermented mare's milk, as warriors and shamans speak in low tones. The steppe is not a place of written laws. Your authority rests on wisdom and strength. A dispute over stolen horses requires your judgment due. You demand restitution or risk a feud. A scout reports a rival tribe's approach, their dust cloud visible on the horizon. Your voice, calm but firm, sets the plan. Move the camp, or prepare an ambush. The weight of these choices presses on you, yet the steppe demands decisiveness, its vastness unforgiving of hesitation. Feasts mark your status. Picture a night under the stars, the camp gathered around a roaring fire, its crackle blending with the strum of a bone-stringed lyre. You preside, offering the first cut of roasted horse meat, its rich, smoky aroma filling the air. Bowls of kumis, the fermented milk, pass from hand to hand, its sour temps warming the throat. Your gold torque gleams in the firelight, and your warriors toast your name, their voices rising in a chant that echoes across the plains. Yet, even in celebration, you remain vigilant. Rival chieftains may join the feast, their smiles hiding ambition, and a poorly chosen word could spark a feud that leaves camps burned and families scattered. Wealth sets you apart, but it comes with burdens. Your yacht holds treasures, gold cups from distant Persia, Chinese silk, soft as a breeze, amber beads from Baltic shores. These are not just luxuries but symbols of alliances, won through trade or raids. Imagine running your fingers over a gold plaque, its stag motif cool to the touch, a gift from a far-off tribe. Yet, Wealth invites envy. Rivals eye your herds, and whispers of betrayal linger in the camp. Your warriors, loyal for now, expect rewards: horses, weapons, or shares of loot. A failed raid or a harsh winter could turn their loyalty to resentment, and the steppe offers no mercy to a weakened leader. Danger is ever present. A raid against a neighboring tribe means riding under moonlight, the air sharp with frost, your bow ready. Lives are lost in these clashes, not in glorious battles but in swift, silent strikes. The ground left stained but quickly reclaimed by grass. You mourn the fallen, their absence a quiet ache, yet the tribe moves on, yurts packed onto carts, the creak of wheels a steady rhythm. Even in peace, the steppes, blizzards bury, grazing lands, and drought parches streams. Your role is to lead through these trials, to find new pastures, to keep the tribe whole. As chieftain, your life is one of contrasts: power amid hardship, wealth amid danger. The steppe grants you freedom to roam, but its price is vigilance, a constant balancing of alliances and threats. Picture yourself riding at dusk, the horizon glowing amber, your horse's breath visible in the cooling air. The tribe depends on you. Their fire is a constellation of trust, yet the steppe remains indifferent, its winds whispering of challenges to come. Let this image linger, the weight of leadership a quiet hum, as you rest in the rhythm of the Scythian world. As we leave the chieftain's world of gold and responsibility, let's turn to a craft that defined the Scythians' artistry, one that gleamed across their steppes. Next, we'll explore the intricate work of Scythian goldwork, a testament to their skill and spirit. Now, let your mind drift from the weighty responsibilities of a Scythian chieftain, more delicate art, one that gleamed like sunlight across the boundless steppe. Picture yourself seated in a yurt, the air warm with the faint scent of melting beeswax and charcoal embers. Around 600 BCE, you are a Scythian goldworker, your hands steady as you shape molten metal into intricate designs, crafting treasures that will adorn warriors, chieftains, and even the dead. The steppe stretches beyond the felt walls, its grasses whispering in the wind, but here, in the glow of a small fire, your world is one of precision and patience. Let the rhythm of this craft, its careful motions and ancient patterns, settle over you like a soft blanket, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine your walkspace, a corner of the yurt where the light filters through a smoke hole, casting a golden glow on your tools. Before you lies a wooden table, worn smooth by years of use, cluttered with small clay molds, bronze tongs, and a leather pouch of raw gold nuggets, their surfaces rough from riverbeds or distant mines. The air carries the sharp, metallic tang of heated gold, mingling with the earthy scent of damp wool from the yurt's walls. Your fingers, calloused yet nimble, work with a small hammer, its handle polished by your grip. Beside you, a tiny furnace glows, its coals hissing softly as you feed it with dried dung, the steppes only fuel to keep the heat steady. Your task today is to craft a plaque, a palm-sized disc of gold to be sewn onto a warrior's cloak or buried in a You begin with a nugget, no larger than a walnut, its weight reassuring in your hand. You place it in a clay crucible, its surface blackened from use, and set it in the furnace. The gold softens, then glows, a liquid shimmer that reflects the fire's dance. With tongs, you pour it into a mold carved with the shape of a stag, its antlers curling like branches. The metal hisses as it cools, and you feel the faint warmth on your face, a contrast to the chill seeping through the yurt seams. The steppe outside hums with distant sounds: horses snorting, a child's laughter, the low whistle of wind through grass. The mold cracks open, revealing the rough stag, its form emerging like a story from the metal. Now comes the finer work. You sit cross-legged, a leather apron across your lap, and take up a bone stylus, its tip sharp enough to etch delicate lines. With steady strokes, you carve details into the gold: the stag's eyes, alert and wide, its muscles taut as if leaping across the steppe. The metal is soft, yielding under your touch, but the work is slow, demanding focus. The yurt is quiet, save for the soft scrape of your stylus and the occasional pop of the fire. Your eyes adjust to the dim light, and the world narrows to the gleaming surface before you, each line a tribute to the animals that define Scythian life: stags, horses, griffins, their forms both real and mythic. This craft is more than decoration. It is a language of the steppe: gold plaques, shaped like leopards or eagles, mark a warrior's status or a chieftain's wealth. They are sewn onto tunics, hung from belts, or placed in tombs to honor the dead. Imagine threading a finished plaque onto a leather cord, its weight tugging gently as you hold it up to the light. The gold catches the fire's glow, its surface alive with the story of a hunt or a god. These pieces travel far, traded along the edges of the Silk Road, reaching Persian courts or Greek colonies, their designs whispering of the steppes, wild freedom. You've seen traders return with tales of distant lands, their voices low as they describe cities of stone, so unlike your world of felt and grass. Yet the craft is not without struggle. Gold is scarce, won through raids or trade with distant miners, and every nugget is precious. A mistake, a crack in the mold, a slip of the stylus means hours of work lost, and the tribe's patience is thin. Your hands ache from long hours, your eyes strained in the dim light, and the smoke from the furnace stings your throat. Outside, the steppes dangers never-fed raiders may strike, stealing your tools or your gold, and winter's cold can halt your work, freezing the clay or your fingers. Yet, there's a quiet pride in your craft. Each piece you create, whether a simple stud or an elaborate belt buckle, carries the spirit of the Scythians, their love of motion and beauty etched in gold. The process is repetitive, almost meditative. You hammer, you etch, you polish, the rhythm as steady as the steppes' heartbeat. Imagine finishing a plaque, rubbing it with a soft cloth until it shines, its surface smooth as a still pond. You wrap it in felt, ready for a chieftain's cloak or a tomb's offering, and step outside to breathe the crisp air, the stars above a glittering mirror of your work. The steppe stretches on, indifferent but eternal, and your craft, small as it seems, binds you to its vastness. As you linger on this image, the glow of gold in your hands, let the calm of creation settle over you, a quiet thread in the Scythian tapestry. As we leave the delicate art of goldwork behind, let's turn to a monument of the steppe, a structure that holds the Scythians' reverence for their dead. Next, we'll explore the kurgan of Esek, where a golden warrior lies in eternal rest. Let your mind drift now, away from the delicate glow of Scythian goldwork, to a silent monument rising from the steppes' endless expanse. Picture yourself standing on a grassy plain near the Isak River, in what is now Kazakhstan, around 500 BCE. The air is crisp, carrying the faint scent of wild thyme and the distant bleating of grazing herds. Before you looms the Issyk kurgan, a massive burial mound, its earthen dome stretching wide under a pale, boundless sky. This is no mere hill, but a testament to the Scythians' reverence for their dead, a structure that holds the mystery of a golden warrior, preserved for centuries beneath the soil. Let the quiet majesty of this kurgan envelop you, its story unfolding slowly, like the wind shaping the steppe, as we explore its creation and meaning in the rhythm of the ancient world. Imagine the kurgan as it was built, a labor of devotion for a fallen leader, perhaps a chieftain or warrior revered by the tribe. The steppe around you hums with activity, the air filled with the soft thud of shovels and the creak of ox-drawn carts hauling earth. The mound rises gradually, layer by layer, its base as wide as a small village, its height dwarfing the yurts nearby. The soil, rich with the scent of damp clay, is piled high, smoothed by hands and feet until it forms a gentle dome, blending into the landscape as if born from the earth itself. The wind carries the low chants of mourners, their voices mingling with the rustle of grass as they honor the one who will rest within. The kurgan's heart is a timber chamber, deep beneath the mound. Picture the builders, their tunics dusted with dirt, felling cedar trees from distant slopes, their axes ringing in the crisp air. The logs, heavy with the resinous scent of pine, are dragged to the site and laid in a rectangular pit, their surfaces smoothed to form a sturdy tomb. The chamber is small but sacred, its walls lined with felt rugs, their patterns of leaping stags faded but vibrant in the torchlight. The air inside is cool, heavy with the earthy temps of freshly dug soil, and as you imagine standing at its edge, you feel the weight of a final farewell, a moment where the living and the dead meet under the steppes' watchful sky. Within this chamber lies the Golden Man, as later archaeologists would call him a warrior, perhaps a young leader, his body adorned in a suit of gold. Imagine the care taken to prepare him. His tunic, sewn with over 4,000 gold plaques, glints like a field of stars, each piece shaped like a horse or a spiral, stitched with sinew onto leather. His belt, heavy with a golden buckle, presses against his waist, and a conical hat, studded with gold arrows, crowns his head. The scent of cedar lingers, mixed with the faint musk of the furs draped over him. Beside him rest his treasures, a bronze dagger, its hilt worn smooth, a whip with a carved handle, and a small table holding clay cups, their rims crusted with traces of mare's milk. Horses, their coats brushed to a sheen, are sacrificed and laid nearby, their bodies a silent escort to the afterlife. The kurgan's construction is a communal act, binding the tribe in shared purpose. Picture the workers, their faces streaked with sweat, piling stones to seal the chamber, their hands rough from hauling. Women weave offerings, felt cloths dyed with madder rootwile. Shamans burn herbs, their smoke curling upward, carrying prayers to the sky gods. The mound grows, swallowing the chamber, until it stands complete, a gentle curve against the horizon. The steppe reclaims it, grass creeping over the earth, hiding the tomb from raiders or time's erosion. The air grows still, save for the soft whistle of wind, and the tribe moves on, leaving the kurgan to guard its secrets. Centuries later, archaeologists uncover the Isek kurgan, their spades revealing a world frozen in time. The golden man's armor, untouched by decay, speaks of a culture that poured its wealth into honoring the dead. But questions linger, as soft as the steppe's breeze. Was he a king, a warrior, or a sacred figure? His youth, a sign of sacrifice. The gold, so abundant, suggests trade with distant lands, perhaps Persia or China. Yet the tomb's isolation hints at a tribe fiercely protective of its own. The horses, buried with care, point to a belief in a journey beyond death. But where did they ride in the Scythian imagination? The kurgan itself, a marvel of labor, stands as a monument to a people who built no cities, yet shaped the earth to cradle their heroes. As you picture the kurgan standing alone, its silhouette, softened by dusk, let its quiet presence anchor you. The steppe stretches around it, vast and unchanging, its grasses whispering tales of those who built it. The golden man rests within, his gold gleaming in the dark, a beacon of a life celebrated, now eternal in its stillness. Let this image linger, the mound's gentle curve under a twilight sky, as you drift deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. As we leave the Isek kurgan's silent splendor behind, let's turn to the bustling edges of the Scythian world, where trade connected the steppe to distant lands. Next, we'll explore the life of trading on the Silk Road's edge, where goods and dangers flowed in equal measure. Now, let your mind drift from the solemn stillness of the Isek kurgan to a livelier corner of the Scythian world, where the steppe hums with the energy of exchange. Picture yourself at a trading rendezvous, somewhere along the fringes of the Silk Road, around 500 BCE, in what is now southern Russia or Central Asia. The air is thick with the scent of dust and dried herbs, mingled with the musky aroma of pack animals and the faint temps of sweat-soaked leather. This is a place where Scythian horsemen meet merchants from distant lands, Persians, Greeks, and early Chinese traders bartering goods that carry the weight of far-off cultures. The steppe stretches around you, its grasses swaying under a wide, cloud-streaked sky, and the rhythm of trade, both vibrant and precarious, unfolds slowly. Let this scene settle over you, its steady hum of activity guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine standing in a makeshift market, not a fixed bazaar with stone stalls, but a sprawling camp where yurts and carts form a loose circle on the plain. The ground is trampled, scattered with straw and hoofprints, and the air buzzes with low voices haggling in a dozen tongues. Around you, Scythian traders, their tunics adorned with bronze pins, led shaggy horses laden with furs, fox, sable, and wolf, their pelts, soft under your fingers, heavy with the scent of the wild. Your own goods, perhaps bundles of wool or dried mare's milk curds wrapped in felt, rest in a cart, its wooden wheels creaking faintly as you shift it into place. The sun beats down, warming the leather of your boots, but a cool breeze carries the promise of evening, rustling the grass like a whispered secret. Merchants from afar bring treasures that dazzle the eye. Picture a Persian trader, his robe dyed a deep indigo, unrolling a carpet woven with patterns of lions and stars, its threads catching the light like a distant fire. Another, from a Greek colony on the Black Sea, offers amphorae of olive oil, their clay, cool to the touch, sealed with wax that smells faintly of the sea. From the east, a Chinese merchant, his cart, groaning under the weight of silk bolts, displays cloth so fine it slips through your fingers like water, its sheen reflecting the sky. The air is alive with scent-spiced wine, roasted sesame, and the earthy musk of camel dung from a caravan that has crossed deserts to reach this spot. Trading here is a delicate dance. You offer a stack of furs, their weight reassuring in your arms, and gesture to a bronze mirror, its surface etched with a griffin, perfect for a chieftain's wife. The Greek merchant eyes your goods, his fingers tracing the fur's texture, and counters with a lower offer, his voice steady but sharp. You haggle, your words slow and deliberate, the rhythm of negotiation almost soothing, like the ebb and flow of a stream. A deal is struck, sealed with a nod and a shared sip of kumis, its sour bite lingering on your tongue. Each exchange is a gamble too generous, and you lose your winter's wealth. Too stingy, and you risk insult, or worse, a feud that could spark a raid. The steppes' dangers shadow every transaction. Imagine a sudden shout, the thud of hooves, signaling a rival tribe's approach. Your hand rests on your dagger, its hilt worn smooth, as warriors ready their bows, their movements swift but silent. Bandits haunt these routes, drawn by the promise of gold or silk, and a poorly guarded caravan could lose everything, lives fading into the grass like morning dew. Storms, too, threaten dark clouds gathering on the horizon, their rumble promising rain that turns the ground to mud, trapping carts and scattering goods. Even in calm times, the journey to this rendezvous was grueling. Days of riding, your horse's breath steaming in the dawn, your body aching from nights on hard ground. Yet, there's a quiet thrill in this meeting of worlds. The Silk Road's edge is a crossroads of cultures, where Scythian furs meet Persian spices and Chinese jade. Picture a trader offering you a small agate bead, its surface swirled with red and white, said to ward off evil spirit. You trade stories as well as good stales of distant cities with stone towers, or rivers that flow with gold, each story weaving a thread into the steppes' vast tapestry. The market hums with life. A child chases a stray goat, its bleat cutting through the chatter. A woman fries flatbread, its warm, doughy scent drifting past. A bard strums a lyre, its notes blending with the wind. As evening falls, the camp glows with firelight, the air cooling as stars emerge overhead. You pack your new good silk for your wife, a bronze cup for your chieftain onto your cart, its wheels groaning softly. The market quiets, traders retreating to their yurts, the steppe reclaiming its silence. You mount your horse, the leather saddle creaking under you, and ride back to your tribe. The weight of yore gains a small comfort against the vastness of the plain. The rhythm of trade, with its risks and rewards, mirrors the steppe's own pulse, endless, unhurried, and eternal. As we leave the bustling trade of the Silk Road's edge behind, let's turn to a story that stirred the imaginations of both Scythians and their neighbors. Next, we'll explore the myth of the Amazons, warrior women, whose legends may have roots in the steppe's reality. Now, let your mind drift from the bustling trade camps of the Silk Road's edge to a quieter, more timeless realm, where stories weave the fabric of the Scythian soul. Picture yourself seated around a crackling campfire, its embers casting a soft glow across the steppe, somewhere in the heart of Scythian lands. Around 600 BCE, the air is cool, carrying the faint scent of burning cedar and the earthy tamps of trampled grass. The sky above is a vast dome of stars, their light a silent guide for the tales told in hushed tones. Tonight, the stories of the Amazons, fierce warrior women whose legend echoes across the ancient world, possibly born from the Scythians themselves. Let the rhythm of this myth, its blend of truth and wonder, settle over you like a soft veil, guiding you deeper into the calm of the steppe's oral traditions. Imagine the scene. The camp is quiet, save for the fire's gentle pop and the distant whinny of a horse tethered nearby. You sit on a thick felt rug, its fibers rough under your hands, warmed by the fire's glow. Around you Scythian kin gather, warriors with braided hair, elders with weathered faces, children wide-eyed at the tale's promise. The storyteller, an elder woman with a voice steady as the steppe wind, begins, her words rising and falling like the rhythm of hooves. Her cloak, adorned with bronze beads, glints faintly, and the air carries the musky scent of wool and the sweet temps of kumis sipped from a shared bowl. The story she tells is one of women who ride like men, wielding bows and spears, their lives a mirror of the steppes' fierce freedom. In the myth, the Amazons are a tribe of warrior women dwelling on the steppes, perhaps near the Black Sea or the Don River. They are not bound by hearths or husbands, but by the bow and the horse. Their camps a mirror of Scythian yurts, yet ruled by women alone. Picture them riding across the plains, their horses kicking up dust that catches the sunlight, their tunics loose but belted with bronze, their quivers heavy with arrows fletched with goose feathers. The storyteller describes their leader, a queen named Hippolyta, her hair braided with gold, her spear sharp enough to pierce a boar's hide. The tale speaks of their battles against Greeks, against rival nomads where their arrows fly like hawks, swift and silent, leaving foes to fall upon the grass. The Greeks, who carried this story to their cities, wove it into their own myths, telling of Amazons clashing with heroes like Theseus or Achilles. But here, on the steppe, the tale feels closer, more real. The storyteller's voice, low and measured, paints a scene of an Amazon raid. Hooves thundering, the air sharp with the twang of bowstrings. The ground left quiet but for the wind's sigh. Lives are lost in these tales, but the storyteller speaks softly, focusing not on the clash but on the courage, the freedom of women who ride as equals to men. The firelight flickers, casting shadows that dance like the warrior she describes, and the scent of smoke weaves through her words, grounding you in the moment. Was there truth in this myth? Archaeologists, centuries later, would find clues in Scythian graves. Imagine a kurgan, its earth parted to reveal a woman buried with a bow, a dagger, and a horse, her skeleton bearing the marks of a rider's life-worn hips, strong arms. Some graves, like those of Pazarik, hold women with tattoos of leopards and stags, their weapons as fine as any man's. These finds suggest that Scythian women, or those of related tribes, like the Sarmatians, rode and fought, their lives blurring into the Amazon legend. Picture a young woman, her hair tied back, practicing archery on the steppe, her arrows thudding into a straw target, the air filled with the soft creak of her bow. She might have been a daughter, a sister, or a wife, yet her skill earned her a place among warriors. Her story carried into myth. The tale shifts to a quieter note. The storyteller describes an Amazon's life beyond battle, weaving felt in a yurt, its walls humming with the wind, tending horses under a twilight sky, their breath steaming in the chill, or joining a ritual, offering milk to the gods by a sacred spring, its water cold against her hands. These women, the story says, lived free, their camps a mirror of Scythian life, yet distinct, a world where women held the reins. The Greeks, hearing these tales, imagined a distant land of warrior queens, but the Scythians knew them as kin, their stories rooted in the steppe's reality. The fire crackles, its warmth a gentle anchor, as the storyteller's voice weaves a sense of pride, of lives unbound by stone walls or rigid roles. As the tale ends, the camp falls silent, the stars brighter now, their light, a quiet echo of the story's wonder. The myth of the Amazons, whether truth or embellishment, carries the Scythian spirit fierce, free and tied to the steppe's endless rhythm. Imagine the storyteller pausing, her eyes tracing the fire's glow. As the listeners drift towards sleep, the tale lingering like a soft melody. Let this image settle over you, the warmth of the fire, the vastness of the steppe, and the echo of warrior women riding under a starry sky. As we leave the mythic Amazons and their campfire tales behind, let's turn to the real women who shaped Scythian life, their roles both practical and profound. Next, we'll explore the lives of women in Scythian society, from archers to Now, let your mind drift from the flickering firelight of Amazon myths to the vibrant, everyday lives of the women who shaped the Scythian world. Picture yourself in a Scythian camp, around 600 BCE, where the steppe stretches endlessly under a sky brushed with the soft hues of dawn. The air carries the faint scent of dew-soaked grass and the warm, musky aroma of wool from nearby yurts. Around you, women move with purposome string bows, others stir pots over smouldering fires, their voices mingling with the low bleating of sheep. These are the women of the Scythians, not just figures of legend but real individuals whose strength and skill wove the fabric of their nomadic society. Let their stories, grounded in the rhythm of the steppe, settle over you like a gentle breeze, guiding you deeper into the calm of this ancient world. Imagine a woman named Sarai, a name whispered by her kin, though history leaves no record of her. She rises in a yurt, its felt walls soft with the scent of lanolin, the air warmed by a small fire of dried dung, its smoke curling upward. Her tunic, patched but sturdy, brushes against her legs as she ties her hair with a leather cord, securing it against the wind. Her hands, calloused from years of work, move with practiced ease as she checks a quiver of arrows, their goose feather fletching soft under her fingers. Sarai is an archer, one of many Scythian women trained to ride and fight, her bow a constant companion. The steppe demands strength from all, and women, no less than men, learn to draw a bowstring, the wood creaking as they aim at distant targets, the thud of arrows a steady rhythm in the morning air. Her day is one of many tasks. Picture her riding alongside the men, her horse's hooves kicking up dust that settles on her cloak, the scent of horse sweat sharp in the cool air. She guards the herd, her eyes scanning the horizon for wolves or rival tribes, her bow slung across her back, its weight familiar. When not riding, she tends to camp duty-smilking mares, the warm, sour liquid splashing into a wooden pail, or kneading dough for flatbread, its earthy aroma rising as it bakes on hot stones. The camp hums with activity. Children chase stray lambs, their laughter mingling with the wind. Elders, we've felt, their hands moving in a slow, hypnotic dance. Sarai's life is woven into this rhythm, her work essential to the tribe's survival. Some women, like Sarai, take on roles that blur the lines of legend. Archaeologists have found graves of women buried with weapons, bronze daggers, quivers, and even armor suggesting they fought alongside men. Imagine Sarai in a raid, her horse galloping under a moonlit sky, the air sharp with frost and the twang of her bowstring. The steppe's conflicts are swift, lives lost in moments, their absence felt in the quiet of the camp, but her voice remains steady, her arrows true. These women, perhaps the root of Amazon tales, were not separate but integral, their courage a thread in the Scythian tapestry. The wind carries the faint echo of their shouts, a sound that fades into the grass, leaving only the memory of their strength. Other women held spiritual power. Picture an older woman, a shaman, her face lined with years, her cloak heavy with bone beads that clink softly as she moves. She tends a fire, its smoke thick with the pungent scent of burning hemp, used in rituals to commune with spirits. Her hands, gnarled but sure, scatter herbs into the flames, their aroma rising as she chants, her voice low and rhythmic, like a lullaby for the gods. She reads omens in the flight of birds, or the patterns of knotted cords, guiding the tribe through drought or danger. In a yurt, she might tend a sick child, applying a poultice of crushed leaves, its bitter scent mingling with the fire's warmth, her prayers blending with the wind outside. Women also wove the steppe's beauty. Imagine a weaver, her loom stretched with wool dye, red with madder root, her fingers threading patterns of stags and spirals, each not a story of the tribe. The clack of the loom is a steady beat, blending with the camp's humpets clanging, horses snorting, the soft murmur of gossip. These textiles, soft yet durable, line yurts, clothe warriors, or wrap the dead, their colors a rare brightness against the steppe's muted tones. Some women, widowed or childless, might lead households, their authority quiet but firm, negotiating marriages or trade with the same skill as any. Life for Scythian women was not without hardship. The steppe's cold bites at their fingers as they work, and hunger looms when herds falter. Raids could claim lives, leaving gaps filled only by memory, their loss mourned in silent rituals by the fire. Yet, their roles archer, weaver, shaman gave them a place of respect, their voices heard in councils, their hands shaping the tribe's survival. Picture Sarai at day's end, sitting by the fire, her bow resting nearby, the stars above a glittering map of her world. Her life, like the steppe, is both free and demanding, its rhythm a quiet pulse that carries you toward rest. As we leave the vibrant lives of Scythian women behind, let's turn to a moment of conflict that tested their tribe's strength. Next, we'll explore the Battle of Jaxartes River, where Scythian archers faced the might of Alexander the Great. Now, let your mind drift from the vibrant lives of Scythian women to a moment of tension on the steppe, where the air hums with the anticipation of conflict. Picture yourself on the banks of the Jaxartes River in what is now Central Asia, Around 329 BCE, the sun hangs low, casting a golden sheen across the rippling water, and the air carries the sharp scent of river reeds and the faint dust of approaching hooves. This is the setting of the Battle of Jaxartes River, where the Scythians, masters of the steppe, faced the relentless ambition of Alexander the Great. The clash was brief but fierce, a test of the nomad's skill against the conqueror's might. Let the rhythm of this story, with its steady pulse of preparation and aftermath, settle over you like the fading light of a steppe dusk, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine the Scythian camp, nestled in a bend of the river, its yachts clustered like islands amid the grass. The air is warm, thick with the scent of horse sweat and the earthy tanks of trampled earth. You stand among the warriors, your leather tunic stiff with dust, your bow gripped tightly, its wood smooth under your fingers. The Scythians, perhaps, led by a chieftain named Spitamins, are no strangers to battle. But this foe is different. Across the river, Alexander's army assembles phalanxes of spearmen, their bronze shields glinting, and cavalry in disciplined rows, their banners fluttering in the breeze. The distant clank of armor and the low murmur of Greek commands carry over the water, a reminder of the empire that has already swallowed Persia. The Scythians prepare with quiet efficiency. Picture the warriors, men and women alike, checking their quivers, each arrow tipped with bronze, their fletching soft as you run your fingers over it. Horses, their manes braided for battle, snort and paw the ground, their breath steaming in the morning chill. The river, wide and sluggish, forms a natural barrier, its surface reflecting the sky's pale blue. The Scythians rely on their mobility, their strategy rooted in the steppes. Vastness strikes swiftly, then vanish. You can almost hear the soft creak of bowstrings being tested, the low voices of warriors planning their moves, their words blending with the river's gentle lap against the shore. Alexander, ever bold, seeks to cross his engineers, their tunics stained with mud, lash together rafts of inflated hides, their surfaces slick and smelling of wet leather. The Scythians watch from the far bank, their horses shifting beneath them. As the first rafts push into the current, the water splashing softly against their sides, the air grows tense, the wind carrying the faint scent of oil from Greek torches. The Scythians unleash a hail of arrows, their bows singing, the missiles arcing like birds across the river. The Greeks falter, some falling silently into the water, their shields sinking with a muffled splash. The scene is one of chaos, but you imagine it from a distance, the sounds muted, the struggle soft by the steppe's indifference. Alexander, undeterred, adapts. He orders his archers and slingers to the river's edge, their volleys forcing the Scythians back. Picture the nomads retreating, their horses galloping in a cloud of dust, the ground trembling faintly under their hooves. The Greeks cross, their rafts groaning under the weight of men and weapons, and form ranks on the Scythian side. The nomads, true to their way, avoid a pitched battle. Instead, they circle, their horses weaving patterns in the grass, their arrows striking from afar. The air fills with the whistle of missiles, the thud of impacts, and the occasional cry, quickly swallowed by the wind. Lives are lost on both sides, their passing a fleeting shadow on the steppe, mourned later in quiet rituals by firelight. The battle turns when Alexander's cavalry charges, their lances lowered, their hooves churning the earth. The Scythians, outnumbered and wary of entrapment, scatter into the plains, their horses swift as the wind, leaving only dust and echoes. The Greeks claim victory, but it is hollow. Alexander cannot hold the steppe, its vastness defying his grasp. The Scythians, though pushed back, remain free, their camps moving deeper into the grasslands, their yurts dismantled under starlight, the creak of carts, a steady rhythm. The river flows on, its waters undisturbed, carrying away the traces of conflict. The aftermath is quiet. Imagine the Scythian warriors regrouping, their fires small but warm, the air heavy with the scent of roasted mutton and the faint bitterness of herbs burned in offering. The losses are felt, not in grand memorials but in the absence of familiar faces, their memory kept in stories told to children. Alexander moves on, his ambition pulling him eastward, but the steppe remains the Scythians' domain, its vastness their shield. The battle, brief as it was, speaks to their resilience, their ability to bend like grass in the wind, unbroken. As you picture the river at dusk, its surface.com, the steppe stretching beyond, let the story's quiet resolve linger, a soft note in the Scythian saga. As we leave the fleeting clash at Jaxartes behind, let's turn to a practice that sustained the Scythians through both life and death. Next, we'll explore the world of Scythian shamanism and healing, where spirits and herbs wove a delicate balance. Now, let your mind drift from the fleeting clash of the Jaxartes River to a quiet, more sacred corner of the Scythian world, where the veil between the living and the spirits grows thin. Picture yourself in a Scythian camp, around 500 BCE, somewhere on the vast Eurasian steppe. The air is cool, heavy with the scent of burning herbs and the faint musk of feltyorts, their walls swaying gently in the evening breeze. The sky above is a deep indigo, speckled with stars that seem to pulse with secret. You are in the presence of a Scythian shaman, a figure revered for their ability to heal, to guide, and to commune with the unseen. Let the rhythm of their rituals, steady and unhurried, wrap around you like a soft cloak, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine the shaman's yurt set slightly apart from the camp, its entrance draped with a woven curtain dyed with ochre and madder, its fibers rough under your fingers as you step inside. The air within is warm, thick with the pungent aroma of hemp seeds, smoldering in a clay brazier, their smoke curling upward in lazy spirals. The fire's glow casts flickering shadows on the felt walls, adorned with small bone charms that clink softly in the draught. The shaman, an elder woman with eyes sharp as a hawk's, sits cross-legged on a fur rug, her cloak heavy with embroidered spirals and bronze beads. Her hands, weathered yet steady, cradle a wooden bowl filled with crushed herbs, wormwood, sage, and wild mint whose bitter scent mingles with the smoke, filling the yurt with an otherworldly calm. The shaman's role is to heal, not just the body but the spirit. For the Scythians see illness as a disruption of balance, a discord between the sufferer and the gods of sky and earth. Picture a young warrior, his face pale, lying on a bed of furs, his breathing shallow from a fever that grips him. The shaman kneels beside him, her voice low and rhythmic, chanting words that blend with the fire's soft crackle. She scatters herbs into the brazier, their smoke rising in thick clouds, believed to carry prayers to the spirits. The hemp's heady aroma fills the air, and the shaman sways gently, her eyes half closed, as if seeing beyond the yurt's walls to a realm of ancestors and deities. The chant, repetitive and soothing, seems to pulse with the steppe's own heartbeat, drawing you into its cadence. Healing begins with touch and ritual. The shaman presses a poultice of crushed leaves and honey to the warrior's brow, its cool, sticky texture a contrast to his fevered skin. The scent of honey, sweet and earthy, mixes with the herbs, grounding the scene in the familiar. She ties a small amulet of bone carved with a stag's outline around his wrist, its surface smooth from years of crafting. The amulet, blessed with whispered incantations, is meant to ward off malevolent spirits, its weight a quiet reassurance. The yurt is silent, save for the shaman's chant and the warrior's shallow breaths, the outside world fading until only the ritual remains, a moment suspended like dew on the grass. The Scythians' healing practices blend the practical with the sacred. Imagine the shaman gathering herbs at dawn, her basket heavy with plants plucked from the steppe chamomile for pain, yarrow to staunch wounds, their leaves damp with morning mist. She boils water in a clay pot, its steam rising with a faint mineral temps, and steeps the herbs to make a bitter tea, its taste sharp but soothing. For wounds from raids, she might clean the skin with mare's milk, its sour scent familiar to the camp, and bind it with strips of linen, dyed red to honor the blood that flows for the tribe. These remedies, passed down through generations, are as much about knowledge as faith, each herb a gift from the steppes, vast pharmacy. Yet, shamanism reaches beyond healing. Picture a ritual to guide the tribe through drought, the air dry and heavy with dust. The shaman leads a procession to a sacred spring, its water cold and clear, reflecting the stars like a mirror. She burns hemp in a small tent, its smoke enveloping her, inducing visions that guide her, counsel where to move the herds, when to raid. The air fills with the rhythmic beat of a drum, its skin taut, its sound echoing like distant thunder. Warriors and elders listen, their faces lit by firelight, as she speaks of omens, a hawk circling thrice, a dream of a running stag. These signs, woven into the tribe's decisions, tie the Scythians to a world where spirits dwell in every gust and blade of grass. The shaman's life is not without burden. Her visions, sought in smoke-filled trances, leave her weary, her body trembling as she returns to the camp's reality. She faces skepticism, too. If her omens fail or a patient fades, whispers of doubt ripple through the tribe. Yet, her role is vital. Her yurt, a sanctuary where the sick find hope and the tribe finds direction. As you imagine her tending the fire, its embers glowing like tiny stars, let the rhythm of her work her chants, her herbs, her quiet strengths, carry you. The steppe outside hums with life, its winds a soft lullaby, blending with the shaman's voice to cradle you in the Scythian world. As we leave the sacred rituals of Scythian shamanism behind, let's turn to another enigma of the steppe, a place where cultures met and faded. Next, we'll explore the lost city of Tanais, a trading post where Scythian and Greek worlds intertwined. Now, let your mind drift from the sacred smoke of the shaman's yurt to a forgotten outpost where the steppe meets the sea. Picture yourself standing on the banks of the Don River in what is now southern Russia. Around 300 BCE, the air is warm, carrying the briny scent of the nearby Black Sea and the faint rustle of reeds swaying in the breeze. Before you lies Tanais, a trading post where Scythian horsemen and Greek merchants mingled, their worlds colliding in a cluster of mud-brick walls and wooden docks. Known as the lost city of the steppe, Tanais is a place of mystery, its ruins whispering of a vibrant past now reclaimed by earth and time. Let the story of this vanished settlement, its echoes soft as the river's flow, settle over you like a gentle tide, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine Tanais in its prime, a small but bustling hub where the steppe's vastness meets the ordered life of Greek colonists. The settlement is no grand city like Athens, but a patchwork of low buildings, their walls baked golden by the sun, their roofs thatched with reeds that rustle in the wind. The air hums with activity, the clatter of clay amphorae being unloaded, the low bleating of goats herded through narrow lanes, and the murmur of voices in Greek Scythian and half-understood tongues. You stand by the river, its water lapping softly against wooden piers, the scent of fish and wet rope mingling with the dusty aroma of the steppe beyond. Ships, their sails patched but sturdy, bob gently, their hulls creaking as they carry goods from distant shores. Walk through Tanais, your boots sinking slightly into the packed earth of its streets. The marketplace is alive with trade Scythian riders, their cloaks adorned with bronze pins, barter furs, and honey for Greek wine, its sharp temps lingering in clay cups. A Greek potter, his hands dusted with clay, shapes vases with black-figured designs, their surfaces cool to the touch. The air carries the smoky scent of bread baking in domed ovens, blending with the sweeter notes of dried figs from across the sea. Scythian women, their hair braided with bone beads, haggle alongside Greek traders, their voices rising and falling in a rhythm as steady as the river's current. Tanais is a crossroads, a place where cultures meet, their differences softened by the shared pulse of commerce. Yet Tanais is a mystery. Its story, picture the settlement's walls, built of mud brick and stone, designed to guard against raids, but crumbling under time's weight. Archaeologists, centuries later, would uncover its foundations, their spades revealing broken pottery, charred wood, and bronze arrow. Some say raids by rival tribes. Perhaps Sarmatians left the settlement in ruins, its people scattered like leaves in the wind. Others point to the river, its course shifting over centuries, starving the docks of trade. Imagine standing amid the ruins, the wind carrying the faint echo of a bustling past, the ground littered with shards of amphorae, their edges worn smooth. The mystery deepens with the artifacts. Excavations reveal Scythian gold, its stag motifs gleaming, buried alongside Greek coins stamped with owls, symbols of Athens. Did Tanais thrive as a peaceful meeting ground, or was it a tense frontier where mistrust simmered beneath every deal? Picture a Scythian trader, his quiver slung across his back, eyeing a Greek merchant's scales, suspicious of short weight. A single sparker cheated bargain, a stolen horse could ignite conflict, leaving lives lost in swift clashes, their memory fading into the steppe's silence. Yet, the artifacts also speak of harmony. A Greek vase painted with a Scythian rider, a fusion of styles that hints at shared lives under the same sky. Tanais layout adds to its enigma. Imagine its streets, a blend of Greek grids, and Scythian sprawl, with stone altars to Poseidon beside shrines to a horse god, their surfaces stained with offerings of milk and blood. The city's Acropolis, a low hill fortified with timber, overlooks the river, its view stretching to the steppes' horizon. Was Tanais a Scythian outpost adopting Greek ways, or a Greek colony shaped by nomad neighbors? Its people, a mix of settlers and locals, lived in homes of mud and wood, their hearths warm with the scent of burning pine. At night, they gathered under starlight, sharing stories of distant lands, the air alive with the strum of a lyre, or the soft chant of a Scythian prayer. As Tanais faded, the steppe reclaimed it. Picture the ruins, their walls softened by rain, grass creeping over broken stones. The river flows on, its waters indifferent, carrying away the echoes of trade and laughter. Archaeologists puzzle over its end. Did fire or flood drive its people away? Or did trade routes shift, leaving Tanais stranded? The mystery lingers, as soft as the wind through the reeds, inviting you to imagine its streets alive once more, its people bound by the rhythm of exchange. Let this image settle, the lost city of Tanais, glowing faintly in the dusk, its secrets whispering across the steppe. As we leave the faded streets of Tanais behind, let's turn to a ritual that bound the Scythians to their gods. Next, we'll explore a sacred ceremony for the horse god, a moment of devotion under the steppe's endless sky. Now, let your mind drift from the faded echoes of Tanais to a sacred moment on the steppe, where the Scythians turn their gaze to the divine. Picture yourself standing on a wide, grassy plain. Somewhere in the heart of Scythian lands, around 500 BCE, the sun is setting, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, and the air is cool, carrying the crisp scent of dew-soaked grass and the faint smoke of a distant fire. Before you, a ritual unfolds, a ceremony to honor the horse god, a deity whose power pulses through the steppe's lifeblood, its horses. The camp is hushed, the rhythm of chants and offerings blending with the wind's soft hum. Let this scene, with its quiet reverence and steady cadence, wrap around you like a warm cloak, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine the ritual site, a gentle rise in the landscape marked by a circle of stones, each smoothed by years of wind and touch. The steppe stretches endlessly around you, its grasses swaying like a sea, their tips catching the last light of day. A small fire burns at the center, its flames crackling softly, sending up curls of smoke that carry the sharp, resinous scent of burning cedar. The Scythians gather, their faces lit by the fire's glow. Warriors with braided hair, women in embroidered tunics, children clutching their mothers' hands. The air hums with anticipation, the low murmur of voices blending with the distant whinny of horses tethered nearby, their manes stirring in the breeze. At the heart of the ceremony stands a shaman, perhaps a woman, her cloak heavy with bone beads that clink gently as she moves. Her hands, weathered by years of ritual, hold a clay bowl filled with mare's milk, its surface pale and shimmering in the firelight. She begins a chant, her voice low and rhythmic, rising and falling like the steppe's own breath. The words, ancient and unfamiliar, speak of the horse god, perhaps Tabite, the goddess of hearth and herd, or a nameless deity tied to the sun and sky. The chant weaves through the air, mingling with the fire's soft pop and the faint rustle of grass, creating a melody that feels eternal, as if the steppe itself is singing. The ritual centers on a horse, a magnificent stallion chosen for its strength, its coat brushed to a glossy sheen, its mane braided with strips of red cloth. Picture it standing calmly, its breath steaming in the cooling air, its hooves shifting softly on the earth. The shaman approaches, her movements slow and deliberate, and pours the mare's milk onto the ground, the liquid soaking into the soil with a faint hiss, an offering to the earth and sky. The crowd watches, their silence a mark of respect, as she places a bundle of herbs, sage and wild thyme into the fire, their pungent aroma rising in thick clouds. The scent is sharp yet soothing, grounding you in the moment, as if the steppe's spirit is near. The ceremony builds to a solemn act. The horse, a sacred bridge to the divine, is led to a stone altar, its surface worn smooth by past offerings. The shaman raises a bronze knife, its blade catching the fire's glow, and with a swift, practiced motion, the animal's life is offered to the god. The act is quick, its finality soft, by the ritual's purpose a gift, to ensure the herd's strength, the tribe's survival. The blood seeps into the earth, a quiet offering, its scent earthy and fleeting, carried away by the wind. The crowd murmurs a prayer, their voices blending into a low hum, like the drone of bees, as they seek the horse god's favor for abundant pastures and safe journeys. Offerings continue, each a thread in the ritual's tapestry. Picture warriors stepping forward, their leather belts creaking, to place bronze arrowheads on the altar, their surfaces cool and heavy. Women offer woven bands, dyed with madder and indigo, their patterns of spirals and horses glowing in the firelight. A child, guided by an elder, sets a small clay figure of a horse beside the altar, its form crude but heartfelt. The air grows thick with the scent of smoke and herbs, and the shamans chant rises, her voice steady, calling to the god to protect the tribe from drought, from raiders, from the steppes' unyielding trials. The fire crackles, its warmth a gentle anchor, tying the living to the divine. The ritual closes as night deepens, the stars above a glittering canopy. The shaman scatters the fire's ashes, their faint warmth lingering on the ground, and the crowd disperses, their footsteps soft on the grass. The steppe is silent now, save for the wind's whisper and the distant call of a nightbird. The horse god, unseen but ever present, is believed to watch over the tribe, its herds, its riders. This ceremony, repeated across generations, binds the Scythians to their land, their faith, a rhythm as steady as the seasons. Imagine the altar at dawn, its stones dusted with dew, the offerings untouched but sacred, a quiet testament to the tribe's devotion. As you linger on this image, the fire rests, embers fading, the steps stretching into darkness. Let the ritual's calm settle over you. The Scythian's faith, rooted in the earth and sky, carries a timeless peace, its cadence a lullaby for the soul. Let it guide you, soft and unhurried, into the stillness of the night. As we leave the sacred rites of the horse god behind, let's turn to a moment when the Scythians' world began to shift. Next, we'll explore the Sarmatian conquest, a turning point that reshaped the steppes' nomadic balance. Now, let your mind drift from the sacred fires of the Scythian ritual to a time of change, when the vast steppe felt the tremors of a new power rising. Picture yourself on the Eurasian plains, around 300 BCE, where the grasses sway under a restless wind, and the air carries the faint scent of dust and distant smoke. The Scythians, masters of the steppe for centuries, face a growing shadow. The Sarmatians, a kindred nomadic people whose ascent will reshape the balance of this boundless world. This is the story of the Sarmatian conquest, not a single clash but a slow, relentless shift that altered the steppe's rhythm. Let this tale, with its quiet currents of change, settle over you like the fading light of a steppe dusk, guiding you deeper into the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine a Scythian camp, its yurts clustered in a shallow valley, their felt walls swaying softly in the breeze. The air is warm, tinged with the earthy scent of trampled grass and the musky aroma of horses tethered nearby, their manes stirring as they graze. You stand among the Scythians, your leather tunic dusted from a long ride, your bow resting across your shoulder. The camp feels familiar, its rhythm steadied, the clatter of pots, the low voices of elders planning the next move, the laughter of children chasing a stray lamb. But there's a tension in the air, a whisper of unease carried by scouts who return with news of Sarmatian riders, their camps encroaching closer, their herds grazing on lands once claimed by your tribe. The Sarmatians, like the Scythians, are nomads, their lives shaped by the steppe's demands. Picture their riders, clad in heavier armor-scale mail of bronze or bone that clinks softly as they move. Their horses, larger and bred for war, kick up clouds of dust that shimmer in the sunlight. The Sarmatians speak a tongue close to the Scythians, their yurts and rituals similar, yet their ambition sets them apart. They are not invaders from distant lands, but kin, perhaps cousins, who seek to dominate the steppe's grazing grounds, its trade routes, its power. The air carries the faint temps of their campfires, a reminder that the steppe, vast as it seems, cannot sustain endless tribes vying for control. The conquest unfolds not in one grand battle, but in a series of skirmishes, each a ripple in the steppe's endless flow. Imagine riding with a Scythian band, your horse's hooves drumming a steady beat as you scout a Sarmatian encampment. The horizon glows with their fires, and the wind brings the sharp twang of their bows, their arrows heavier, tipped with iron. A clash irrept, swift, chaotic, but muted in memory. Arrows whistle through the air, Horses rear, and lives are lost in moments, their passing marked only by the grass that will grow over the fallen. The Scythians fight fiercely, their bows singing, but the Sarmatians' numbers and tactics press them back, their camps forced to retreat deeper into the plains. Picture the Scythian chieftain, his torque glinting in the firelight, gathered with elders in a yurt. The air is heavy with the scent of burning herbs, offered to calm the spirits as they debate fight, flee, or seek alliance. The Sarmatians' strength lies in their unity, their tribes banding together under strong leaders, while the Scythians, fiercely independent, struggle to coordinate. Some clans submit, blending with their conquerors, their yurts joining Sarmatian camps, their gold plaques now mixed with new designs. Others retreat, their carts creaking under the weight of furs and children, seeking new pastures beyond the Don River or the Black Sea's shores. The steppe absorbs these movements, its vastness indifferent, its winds carrying only whispers of change. The shift is gradual, like the turning of seasons. Imagine a Scythian camp years later, its numbers smaller, its warriors bearing Sarmatian-style armor, a sign of merging cultures. The air still carries the familiar scent: mare's milk, roasted mutton, the dust of the trail, but new songs, new patterns in the felt rugs, hint at the Sarmatians' influence. Trade continues, with Greek merchants at Tannae noting the change. The Rampheri now traded for Sarmatian horses. The Scythians' name fades in some regions, their tribes absorbed or pushed to the margins, their kurgans left to stand silent under the sky. The steppe, ever-changing, reshapes itself, its grasses hiding the scars of these quiet conquests. The Sarmatian rise reshapes the ancient world. Their dominance opens new trade routes, their riders carrying goods and ideas from China to the Black Sea. Yet the Scythian spirit lingers in, the gold plaques buried in kurgans, and the stories told by fires. Imagine a Scythian elder, her voice soft, recounting tales of Idanthasa's 2 children. The fires crackle, blending with her words. The losses of land, of kin are mourned quietly, their memory woven into the steppe's endless song. As you picture the camp at twilight, its fires glowing like stars, let the story of this slow conquest settle, a reminder of a world in flux, yet eternal in its vastness. As we leave the shifting tides of the Sarmatian conquest behind, let's turn to the enduring legacy of the Scythians, a culture that echoes far beyond their time. Next, we'll explore how their world resonates in modern Eurasia, tying the past to the present. Now, let your mind drift from the shifting tides of the Sarmatian conquest to a quiet moment of reflection, where the Scythians' world reaches across centuries to touch our own. Picture yourself standing on the same Eurasian steppe, but now in a time closer to today, perhaps in the rolling plains of modern Ukraine, southern Russia, or Kazakhstan. The air is cool, carrying the familiar scent of dukist grass and the faint hum of a distant breeze, just as it did thousands of years ago. The Scythians, with their yurts, horses, and golden treasures, have long faded, their kurgans softened by time, yet their legacy lingers in the land, its people, and the stories that endure. Let this final tale, with its gentle threads connecting past to present, wrap around you like a soft blanket, guiding you toward rest in the calm of the Scythian world. Imagine standing beside a kurgan, its earthen mound now a gentle rise, covered in wildflowers that sway under a twilight sky. The steppe stretches around you, its vastness unchanged, its grasses whispering the same secrets they carried in 600 BCE. The air is crisp, tinged with the earthy scent of soil and the faint sweetness of clover, a reminder of the herds that once roamed here. In the distance, a modern village glows with soft lights, its houses built of brick, yet some families still tend horses, their hooves echoing the rhythm of Scythian riders. The steppe's timelessness binds you to the past, its horizon a bridge between then and now, inviting you to trace the Scythians' echoes in the world we know. The Scythian's horsemanship lives on in the cultures of Eurasia. Picture a Kazakh herder, his face weathered like a riding across the plains, his horse's mane braided with red thread, much as it might have been millennia ago. The air carries the same musky scent of horse sweat, the same steady thud of hooves on grass. In Mongolia, nomads still dwell in yurts, their felt walls echoing the Scythian tents, their interiors warm with the scent of burning dung and boiled milk. These herders, guiding their flocks under the same starry sky, carry the Scythian spirit of freedom, their lives unbound by walls, their days shaped by the season's rhythm. The clink of a bridle, the creak of a cartwheel, feels like a whisper from the past, a thread of continuity woven through time. Their artistry endures, too. Imagine visiting a museum in Kiju or Almaty, where Scythian gold glimmers in glass cases, its stags and griffins as vivid as when they were crafted. The plaques, once sewn onto tunics or buried in kurgans, inspire modern jewelers. Their swirling designs echoed in bracelets and pendants sold in local markets. Picture a craftsman in a small workshop, his tools clinking softly, shaping silver with patterns that recall the Scythian's love of movement and nature. The air carries the faint metallic tang of his work, blending with the scent of wood shavings, a quiet nod to the gold workers who hammered under a steppe sun. These designs, born on the plains, live on in the art of Central Asia, their curves a silent legacy. The Scythians' influence stretches further, woven into the cultures they touched. In Russia, folklore tells of riders who vanish into the steppe, their tales echoing Scythian myths of Amazons or heroes like Rot. Picture a grandmother in a village, her voice soft as she tells children's stories by a crackling fire, its warmth mirroring the campfires of old. The air carries the scent of baking bread, grounding the scene in comfort. As her words paint warriors galloping under a starry sky. In Greece, the myths of Amazons, possibly inspired by Scythian women, still linger in literature, their strength celebrated in modern The Scythians trade along the Silk Road's edge, helped forge paths that persist, their routes now highways linking east and west, their legacy carried in the flow of goods and ideas. Even the steppe itself holds their memory. Archaeologists uncover kurgans, their spades revealing bronze daggers, felled rugs, and horse bones. Each find a whisper of Scythian life. Imagine standing at a dig site, the air heavy with the scent of freshly turned earth. As a golden plaque emerges, its stag motif catching the sunlight. These discoveries, from Pazyryk to Issyk, connect us to the Scythians' world, their rituals and struggles preserved in the soil. In modern Kazakhstan, festivals celebrate the steppe's heritage, with horse races and archery contests, the thud of hooves and twang of bows echoing the Scythians' daily rhythm. The air fills with laughter and the smoky aroma of roasted meat, a scene not unlike a Scythian feast. The Scythians' story, though faded, reminds us of a life both free and fleeting. Their hardships cold winters, lost kin, endless rides are distant now, softened by time, yet their spirit endures in the steppe's vastness, in the art and tales that survive. Picture yourself lying on a modern bed, its softness a contrast to the furs of a Scythian yurt, the quiet of your room a far cry from the steppe's wind. The Scythians' world, with its trials and triumphs, is a distant echo, yet it lingers in the cultures, crafts, and landscapes of Eurasia. Let this thought settle, the steppe stars shining above, their light a gentle bridge to the present, carrying you toward rest. As we linger on the Scythians' enduring echoes, let's draw this journey to a close, reflecting on their world and the peace of the present. And so, our journey through the Scythian steppe comes to a gentle end, from the shivering toil of the horseman to the golden treasures of Issyk, from the myths of Amazons to the rituals of the horse god. We've wandered through a world of vast plains and fleeting lives. The steppe, with its endless grasses and starlit skies, held the Scythians in its embrace, shaping their days with the rhythm of herds, the gleam of gold, and the whisper of spirits. Their struggles against cold, against rivals, against time itself are now distant, their stories preserved in the earth, in the tales, in the echoes that reach us today. Picture the steppe one last time, its horizon glowing faintly under a crescent moon, the air cool and quiet, the grass swaying like a lullaby. The Scythians' fires have long faded, their yurts gone, but their spirit lingers in the lands they roamed, in the art they crafted, in the freedom they cherished. As you rest now, safe in the warmth of your own space, let the weight of their world slip away. The steppe's vastness, its trials, its wonders, are a story to carry you into dreams. Breathe deeply, let the rhythm of the past fade, and drift into the gentle peace of sleep. Good night.